Today we have 53 actionable credit repair dispute tips, and instead of wasting any more time, we're actually just going to jump right into this because we have quite a few to go over, and I've set these up as flashcards to make it easier to deliver this content, all right? So you're going to want to send each bureau letter out on a different date, and no, I didn't come up with this. This was actually given as testimony in a lawsuit by someone who previously worked at Equifax. So I didn't question it. I started doing it about 5 years ago or so, and guess what? It changed my results for the positive, so I kept with it. You want to put a max of 10 accounts per letter, not 12, not 50, but 10, unless it is medical or putting all those accounts in one letter is part of your tactic. And you're going to send out one dispute reason per account. I'm seeing so many people who are putting all their eggs in one basket, and guess what? Now you're crap out of luck when it comes back as verified because you just gave up all your ammo. Why are you going to expend all your ammo on just one of the enemy? Like, that doesn't make any sense, okay? And do not sign your letters. If you're signing your letters, you're going to find out that your signature somehow was transposed onto a contract that you didn't sign. All right. And do not falsely claim identity theft or say not mine. Saying not mine, as you will find out, is credit repair suicide. And I don't want that to happen to you. All right. So when you falsely claim identity theft and you use a police report and an affidavit, like, you're literally saying, like, yeah, I agree to go to jail for like a year for perjury, when it comes back and, like, I'm totally lying. Okay. So unless you want to go to jail for 6 months for fraud, you probably shouldn't use this method. I teach you in my 500 videos how to do this the right way. And charge-offs will report a balance if unpaid or not sold or transferred, okay? Please listen to me. There's so many people who are commenting and questioning and all that kind of stuff. Why there's a balance on their charge-off? Well, okay, did you pay it? No. That's why there's a balance on your charge-off. You may want to look up what charge-off and written off mean. They are literally just accounting terms, and we're not going to go over those right now. All right, so don't dispute directly with a debt buyer. And I think I actually have one of these that's for some reason or another going to repeat. So if it does, I apologize and we'll skip through it. But don't dispute directly with a debt buyer, because unless it's outside the statute of limitations, you're literally going to be putting yourself in front of the debt buyer saying, Heather, here I am, take me to court. I am ready for you. These are not the ones that you're going to want to send a validation of debt to, okay? You only dispute with the bureaus for debt buyer collections like Portfolio Recovery, Midland, Calvary, so on and so forth, like second round, okay? And I do have videos that explain exactly how to do this. And third-party collectors are not debt buyers. So when it's your medical account or your utility bill or whatever, car insurance, those are not debt buyers. Those are third-party collectors, and you can use the validation of debt. And then, of course, don't send a VOD, a validation of debt, to the credit bureaus because you're trying to validate the debt. The debt is validated by the actual collector themselves. All right. And don't send a VOD to the original creditor. You're actually going to use a 623 dispute on this. And here we go. It is once again being repeated, so I skipped past it. Make sure to send all required identification. That's your ID. That's your social security card or your W-2, something with your full social security number on it, and your proof of address. If you're not putting all of this on there, then guess what? You're giving the bureaus a reason to just reject you, okay? They need to be able to identify you and say, okay, well, John, yes, okay, this is John. And if not, then it's Jane trying to do something like with identity theft on John's credit report, and they're not going to allow that. So every single time you send out a dispute, and yes, I see that typo there, don't hate, appreciate. Don't forget to include your full name, your address, your date of birth, and your social on your dispute letters at the top of your disputes, in addition to sending out the copies of your disputes, all right? And don't send a picture of an envelope for address proof. That is not address proof. And yes, I see disputes rejected all the time because people are sending in a picture of an envelope. That's just a picture of an envelope. Like this, the way that your mail comes to you, like literally they're just taking a picture of the outside of an envelope. No, you need to open that sucker up and take a picture of that full page, your utility bill, your bank statement, whatever it is. All right. And just as I mentioned, credit repair suicide is saying not mine. If it is yours, you need to find a different reason for dispute. And again, false identity theft is an attempt to benefit into fraud, which is a C felony. So here's the key to disputing. It is the dispute reason. It is not the dispute letter or the text. Like, I can't tell you how many times, including today, This morning, people ask, what type of letter do I send out? What's the letter to send out for a charge off for a late payment? It's not the letter, it's the dispute reason. Your letter can literally say your personal information, the date, the bureau you're disputing, and one line that says delete these for inaccuracy and provide or perform an investigation. Account 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all dispute reasons, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, John. That's it. That is it. Because guess what? Templates get flagged by the first computer, the OCR scanner that extracts the text. So the key to disputing is finding the dispute reason that is going to remove that account. It is not the rest of the text on the letter. And if you're sending stuff that has been sent before, it gets matched against millions of letters in their database. And guess what? There's no investigation. It comes back as verified a couple days later. And we're going to skip past this and go to the next one. Certified mail does not equal a faster investigation. All it says is that your letter got to the bureaus. That's it. That's it. That is it. Okay. So you can see the same stuff basically from your credit report. Like, unless you want to, like, what is it, $21 for 3 letters, $25? I don't even know. But unless you want to be spending that extra stuff, it's not going to make you get faster results. A regular stamp will do. All right. So I think we might be back on the beginning of it. Let's just find out. Sign your letters. Don't bother trying to beat the OCR. You want to make sure that you're actually using factual disputes instead of trying to use like ink and coffee grounds and staples. Like, none of that stuff matters. All right. And if I skip past some of these, it's because we've already gone over them. This kind of like mixes it up for whatever reason, but you're going to want to dispute all inquiries with the creditor and not the bureaus. And I show you exactly how to remove your inquiries for free. And yes, I see a typo there. Very simply, with my free inquiry removal webinar that you can find on YouTube right here, just using the keyword search. All right. So just type in inquiry, hit enter, and it's going to show up with my videos on inquiries. All right. So bureaus never furnish docs or proof. They don't even get this stuff. They're actually required to have all the documents that would, prior to reporting them on your credit report, like verify this account so that consumers, we wouldn't have to go through this. But obviously it doesn't work like that. The way that it works, just so you know, and you can learn more about this by searching Metro 2, but the way that it works is that when you're first registered as a data furnisher, you have to submit like a batch. Let's just say a batch of 100 accounts. And all you're doing is submitting a spreadsheet, or you're submitting inside Metro 2. That's it. There's no documentation that is forwarded to the bureaus, and no documentation is going to come from the bureaus. It's just going to be deleted, updated, rejected. That's what's going to come to you. Okay. So the bureaus report whatever they are paid to, because they're in the data business. They are not in the credit business. They make their money by obtaining, maintaining, and selling your information. The lower your credit score, while still being, reasonable, the more money that they can charge for your information, and the more money the creditor is going to get by charging you a higher interest. They're not interested in the people with the 800 credit scores. They're interested in the people with the mid 5s and the mid 6s, because it makes them more money. Okay. That is why these things stay on your credit report, because they have no incentive to remove them. Let me say that again. The bureaus have no incentive to remove the negative items off your credit report, because they make money off of it. And I'm going to try to go find my video from 2017 or 2018 on if it's down in the description, you can click on it and check it out. But it really explains that whole thing, okay, about the conflict of interest. You can ask for an independent investigation. So if you go check out Cushman versus TransUnion from 1997, congressional opinion was that the bureaus actually have to, after first coming back and saying that it's verified and you disagreeing, perform an independent investigation outside the original source of information. So that means that they have to figure out for themselves, without the creditor or the collector saying, hey, it's verified, whether this is reported accurately on your credit report. And I can tell you 100 times out of 100, all they're doing is using automation. There is no independent investigation, and you can use your credit report to prove this stuff, all right? And always remember, I tell people this all the time, the CFPB comes after exhausting all your remedies, not after 1 round, not after 2, not after 6. You have to first exhaust everything that you possibly can with the bureaus. You have to rack up all your violation logs and have all the responses or lack of responses, and then go one time to the CFPB and get your negative items that are still remaining on your credit report removed. Otherwise, they are not going to pay attention to you and you're not going to get anywhere. All right. Now, the holiday season is actually the best time to dispute. And I would actually say dispute a max of 3 accounts per letter, not even 10, but 3. And you can actually use the flashcard system to map out your letters. And if I can find my video on this, I will post it in the description, but I may forget, so I apologize. But what this means is that you can, the same way that some marketers use flashcards to map out the copy of their websites and their ads and all of that. You can do the same thing with your letters. You take a flashcard and you write your personal information on it and you stick it at the top of your desk or your kitchen table or whatever. You take the date and you stick it on a flashcard and you stick it underneath your personal or below, whatever, your personal information. You then write the bureau's address on a flashcard and you stick it below that. And then now you write your first paragraph on a flashcard and you stick it below that. So it makes it easier to construct your dispute letter and make sure that all of the requirements are included in your dispute letter. And you want to use very clear dispute reasons with facts. You hear me say this all the time, so we're not going to go more into that one, but removing an old negative account can actually drop your credit score because like if it's one of the older accounts or it's an old paid charge off and it's been on there for 6 years and you remove it, you're going to see your credit score drop if, number one, it is your oldest account or one of your oldest accounts and your next oldest account isn't like past 2 years or so, because now instead of a 6-year credit history, you're dealing with a 2-year credit history. And that is a no-go. Okay. That leads us to you do not have to remove all your negative info because some of it, just as I was mentioning, is building out the other aspects of your FICO score. All right. Now, late payments must begin with a 30-day late. Otherwise, the previously reported paid on time months are inaccurate. You can use this for any late payment where the payment history does not make sense, like student loans. And if you're looking for information on how to remove student loans, I not only have a mini course specifically related to updating the late payment history for student loans and removing them from your credit report. All right. You can find that by using, again, the keyword search using the magnifying glass under the main image on my channel, youtube.com/expert credit sweeps. Just type in student loan and you will find that. Now, the way that you would use this is very simple by saying if it says, okay, 90 days late, you would very simply state that this account needs to be updated because the payment history does not make sense. And you would very simply not say payment history doesn't make sense, but that they're reporting 90 days late on X date when the 2 prior payments were not 30 and 60. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, please let me know down in the description. Here's something very important, and it can remove your bankruptcies. They must report the city and states in the court name. If it says federal, that is not correct. If it says federal district, it is not correct. If it says U.S. dist, it is not correct. If it says U.S. bankruptcy court, it is not correct. If it says U.S. BKRPT, that is not correct. It must say U.S. bankruptcy court, city, state. I just gave you like a gem right there, okay? Collections can't have a past due. You can use this to remove them. Collections can't have late payments. You can use this to remove them. Like, hello, it's already past due. It is already late. Charge-offs cannot have a monthly payment. They're closed. How can I be paying monthly on a closed account? There should be no activity after the close date, all right? So I'm actually going to stop this right here. I believe we might have gotten through 2 sets of 26, but that is it for today. If you found value in this video, smash that like. If you have a question, post it down in the comments. Click on one of the other videos that come up on your screen. And as always, if you need my help, head over to my740.com, schedule a call with me, and I will see if I can help you. Otherwise, subscribe if you haven't done so, because I'm going to come out with something that can literally remove all the negative items from your credit report, and I don't want you to miss it, all right? So that is it.